this is all my fault for not releasing a new Perfect Cell in over 10 years. Yes, Tonsen Cell is finally here. Soon it will be the greatest Cell figure ever made. Oh no, people are canceling their pre-orders. Tonsen, I've already seen what you did to DF's Gokhan, and I won't let it happen to me. I promise you this. As long as there's cheap plastic available, I will fight. Do you hear? I won't let you do me like you did DF! It is finally done. Alright guys, welcome back to the Dragon Ball figure recap. We're gonna get to KW Studio, don't worry about that. I have quite a lot to say about that, and thankfully actually there's not a lot of third-party news this week apart from KW actually, so we're gonna give them a decent amount of attention in the third-party part, okay? First, of course, as usual, we have official SH Figuarts. So Antares Reviews posted these images here of the Dangerous Pride Vegeta. You have this one here, this right here. This is just a bit lower down, I guess, showing more of the legs and stuff. Then we have this, and that, I believe, is the last one. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like what you'd expect from Bandai, I guess, you know? Like, it can't touch Recustom. It doesn't really look like Toriyama's art. Looks very generic. Not really worthy of the name figure art, in my opinion, at all. But it is what it is. I personally want this figure just really for the body and stuff, to put the Recustom head sculpt on there, if Recustom does make their head sculpt or head sculpts, you know. But yeah, this is available on Amazon, of course. I'll talk about that later on as well. So let's now move on to the next thing. Instamashi, they posted these things here. They're saying that, you know, some figures are getting reissued. Okay, so first is Games Begin Goku. Which, I mean, this figure is readily available as far as I know. I've not seen it like sold out. It's available on Amazon last I checked. So I don't know why they're reissuing things that are like readily available. I mean, unless, is it not that easy to find in Japan? It might be, you know, because I guess we don't really think about that very much. We don't really tend to think about the Japanese market. For example, I think about America because I'm here, of course. Other people think about the UK, Canada, and so on. But I mean, perhaps in Japan, this is sold out and hard to find, so that could be it. If it's for Japanese people mainly, then okay, I guess that makes sense. But as far as America goes, like, you can get this thing really easily right now. It's not like tough to find or anything. But anyway, so scheduled release is October 2025. Pre-orders open 3rd of March 2026 at 4 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, okay? And I made a post about this, critiquing this caption here. It says, "This figure is brought to life with an all-new sculpt, paying attention to details such as proportions, hair volume, and expressions, imaging the anime artwork from that time." No, okay? No. It does not look like the anime artwork from that time. It looks very generic and very basic, as I've said before. If you want to say it looks like, you know how when you watch like Dragon Ball Z, for example, right? There are some frames that are drawn really well. They look really beautiful. They're like sharp and stuff. And then there are other frames where Goku looks weird or wonky, or you can tell like the artist didn't try very hard to draw it well. If you want to say it looks like those poorly drawn frames, then I'm like, okay, yeah, it looks like the anime. If you're referring to that, yeah, I could say, okay, yeah, it looks like that. I could see a resemblance there. But if you're talking about the actual like beautiful, well-drawn frames of the anime, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. They're also reissuing Imperfect Cell, which they call Cell First Form. It says release date September 2026. Pre-orders open 3rd of March 2026 at 4 p.m. Japanese Standard Time. And just like Games Begin Goku, this is readily available to American consumers. I mean, you can find this pretty easily. Even on Premium Bandai, they have this thing. On Amazon, it's there last I checked as well, so it's not tough to find. Once again, it could be because of the Japanese market. I don't know. Perhaps in Japan, it's not easy to find, right? But this figure is actually, I think this, now you see this statement here, imaging the anime artwork from that time. That statement actually applies to this figure. I think this figure actually does look like the anime artwork. It actually does look like Imperfect Cell. It actually does look like Toriyama's art, okay? Unfortunately, of course, as with Bandai's cheapness that we know about, we've known this for years now, they don't really shade the figures very well, so there's a lot of plain basic plastic, okay? If this figure had very good shading, I'd be like, this is like very close, if not actually a perfect Imperfect Cell figure, in my honest opinion, as far as the appearance goes. It looks just like him, you know, and no pun intended with the perfect Imperfect Cell. But anyways, same pre-orders open March 3rd, yada yada, same thing as Games Begin Goku. And finally, we have Super Boo's also getting reissued. October 2026 is the release date for this one, scheduled release. Pre-orders open the same time, 3rd of March 2026 at 4 p.m. Japanese Standard Time. Now, this one is not, I don't know of anywhere selling this for the retail price right now. So this is actually, as far as the American market goes, this is actually a quote-unquote good release in a certain sense, as far as it's not really available for retail right now. I checked just now a little while ago. I did not see it on Amazon yet, but once I see it there, I will let you all know. If it does go on there, it should. I assume these are general releases. These are not like Premium Bandai exclusives, right? And as for Super Boo, I mean, the sculpt is pretty good. It's like almost there, but I feel like it's still not quite as good as it should be. It's like, it's probably like 80 to 90% there. You know, it's almost there, but not quite, you know, but I might get this because I want Super Boo, but I don't know. I'm not super excited about this. I don't really get excited, as I've said before, when Bandai reissues like overpriced figures, because basically with SH Figuarts, Dragon Ball especially, I don't really follow anything else SH Figuarts really. Hunter x Hunter a bit, but not that much. But unless an SH Figuarts figure is like $38 or whatever, it's probably a ripoff. Unfortunately, that's where we are right now. Okay, so hopefully at some point in the future, some other company, an official company, like an actual company, not like DF or whoever, hopefully an official real company can start making Dragon Ball figures that look, you know, good for the price, good prices, whatever. And if they can even make figures that can compete with SH Figuarts as far as the appearance and the sculpt goes, like say Storm Arena would just stomp them into the dirt. If we could see something like Storm Arena Dragon Ball at some point, and they have good prices, they're not just like on the scam wagon with Bandai, that'd be really good. I would like to see that. But as long as Bandai keeps doing this disgusting overpriced garbage, I'm not going to be excited that they're releasing something. I'm not like, hey, yeah, I'm going to get scammed in October, yay! No, okay? So let's move on now to Premium Bandai. As far as Dragon Ball goes, they have a bunch of stuff here, a bunch of pre-orders, both new products and reissues. So we got Trunks being reissued, Krillin, Earth's Strongest Man being reissued. New stuff is like the Red Goku, Kind-Hearted Saiyan, Dangerous Pride, Android 13, and so on, okay? And even Imperfect Cell is here. They have him on Premium Bandai, so it's kind of weird he's being reissued, even though he's right here on Premium Bandai. But this is Premium Bandai US. I don't know if Premium Bandai Japan doesn't have him. I could check perhaps at some point. But yeah, they have a bunch of stuff here. As I've said before, I don't really recommend pre-ordering any new products from Premium Bandai, because if they send you a bootleg looking thing like Shallot, then you can't return it unless it's damaged or defective according to their policy, okay? So, Bardock, They have him here. Pre-orders close March 15th, so a little less than a month away from right now. Scheduled to release in August 2026. This figure, I don't know why they made the wounds so dark. If they made them more of a similar color to his bandana, I think the figure would look a lot better. Dodori and Zarbon, 165 for them. No closing date yet. Scheduled shipping September 2026. So let's see, Bardock is August, they're September. And Bardock is 75, by the way. Okay. Android 13, which they're calling Fusion Android 13, $90. Scheduled shipping October 2026. Okay. And as you see, Imperfect Cell first form is right here for $80, which is more than he was before, I'm pretty sure. I think he was 75 before, so they've raised the price on that as well. You know, it is what it is with Bandai. All right, now let's move on to Amazon and some other sellers as well. So for the figures I show you on Amazon, you can find links for those either in the description or on dbfigs.com in the SH Figuarts section, okay? As for figures that are on other stores or sellers or whatever, you can find those. They'll pop up on your screen like a little tag. You can actually click it, and I think you can like buy it while you're watching the video and stuff like that. This new YouTube thing. So there's that. All right. So as for Amazon right here, DAIMA Goku, he is available on Amazon, of course, shipped and sold by Amazon.com, $35.99 Prime overnight. Solid figure, I'd say, and it's a good price. Okay, I do think that the $35 to $38 figures have good prices. Barnes & Noble also has this one for $38, and I think they have free shipping on orders $50 or more. So if there's other stuff you want from them, you get free shipping like on Amazon if you reach that threshold. And also they have a pickup in store option, so depending on the availability in your area or what's not, you might be able to actually just go like grab this in the physical store if you want to. For Mini Goku, Amazon has it here, $36.05. Okay. DAIMA Vegeta, I think this was out of stock before, so this is back now. I have to mark it as in stock on dbfigs.com. If it was out of stock, I can't remember. I think it was though. $35.99, good price, solid Vegeta figure, I'd say. And you see right there, Supreme Kai, $74.99. Okay. And Mini Vegeta on Amazon right here as well, $34.99. Not much of a sale going on. It says minus 8%. This thing, as I said before, does tend to go very, very low. You get pretty good discounts on this in some weeks and some days and stuff like that. So if you do want this, I'd personally recommend waiting and seeing if the price drops a bit more than this, because $35 is a bit much for this little teeny tiny figure, dude. Okay, little tiny thing. It doesn't even have an ab crunch or anything. Like, it's a really tiny thing. Like, yeah. And then for DAIMA Adult Piccolo, this is available from Amazon, $68.78. This was on sale for a bit less than that fairly recently, I believe, so the price might drop again. It wasn't like a crazy sale, but it was better than what it is right now, I believe. So you could, wait a bit and see if that drops or not, but you could also get it right now if you want to. And for Mini Piccolo, this one does have a very good offer going on, $33.85. I think that's a very solid price for this figure. Free shipping, Amazon.com right here, shipped and sold by Amazon, not sold by like YesJek or Wown or anything like that, okay? Glorio 9527 being released on April 10th, 2026. If this price does, go on sale at some point for a very good price, I might get this myself, but as it stands right now, 9527, no. Shenron, $119.99, available right now, sold by Amazon.com. Proud Namekian Piccolo, $105.25, being released on August 14th, 2026. Price is astronomical, not sure what's going on there. Of course, Premium Bandai, I believe, has this on pre-order for like $80 or something like that. So it's a lower price than this. They do have the $10 shipping because the T-Week thing is done, so that'll be like $90. So honestly, I mean, not much difference is there if you really think about it. The $80, then the $10 shipping, that's $90 right there. Then the taxes, let's say that's what, $95. So, some bit less than Amazon, but yeah, I mean, of course, the return policy is not as good as Amazon either. So there's that. You got to consider that factor, because since this is a reissue, there's no guarantee that this will be of the same quality as previous releases of this Proud Namekian Piccolo figure. Bandai might decide to cut costs or whatever and cheap out and, you know, use lower quality plastic or something. You really can't be sure with that. So if I was pre-ordering something like this, I'd feel more comfortable pre-ordering it from Amazon than from Premium Bandai, because at least with Amazon, I know that if I don't like it or it looks cheap or whatever, like they downgraded the quality, then I can return it, get my money back. With Premium Bandai, if your figure is not damaged or defective, it just looks like a bootleg and you don't like that, you can't return it, okay? So that should be considered as well. Now for Frieza First Form with the Pod, $98, being released on November 14th, 2026. I have this figure. I have Proud Namekian Piccolo as well, so I don't need to buy another one. Trunks, $78.38, being released on July 14th, 2026. And as I've said before, if you want this kind of look for Trunks, I would personally rather get like the Tonsen Trunks or even possibly the DF Trunks. The DF Trunks is not very different from this, I guess. And it's probably a lower price. Although, well, I mean, essentially what I was going to say is like, I would get one of those Trunks figures and put a cloth jacket on it. But depending on the price of the jacket, you might end up paying the same thing as for this anyways. But at least if you get, like, say the DF Trunks and a cloth jacket, then you could have two looks for Trunks instead of one. Because if you get this, you're stuck with the jacket look. Whereas if you get the DF and a cloth jacket, you can have him with the jacket or without the jacket. And if you have the Tonsen version, which I think looks way better than the DF version, then you'd have an even better looking figure than the SH Figuarts with the jacket option. Although I will say that because the Trunks figure from Tonsen is so buff, the jackets don't really fit as well as they would on something like the DF, which is a bit slimmer, you know, so you should consider that as well. And then Earth's Strongest Man Krillin, I have this. I think it's a very good Krillin figure. If it had good shading, I would say this is probably like very close to perfection, if not a perfect Krillin figure. Like, I think it's really a solid figure sculpt wise, you know. It looks like Krillin from the anime. It actually looks like the source material, right? $65, being released on August 14th, 2026. Games Begin Goku from Amazon here, $38. And then recently Amazon restocked the Warrior Who Surpassed Goku Gohan figure, $57.85. Lower price than most places you'll probably find this, because the retail price I believe is like $65. Yeah, you see there, 11% off. So if you want this Gohan, this is probably among the best of prices you're gonna find for it, as far as, you know, buying it from Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth, you know, like American stores and stuff like that. So yeah. Barnes & Noble also has it here for the retail price, $65. And of course, as I said before, they have free shipping on orders $50 or more, I believe. And they also have this pickup in store option. So if you have it, a Barnes & Noble near you, or you're near one or whatever, you might be able to pick this up in the store if it is available there. For Dangerous Pride Vegeta, we have this $38 being released on June 29th, 2026. I am looking forward to this myself, but as I said, really for the body and stuff like that, not for the head sculpts. Now the Awakened Super Saiyan Blood Vegeta is sold out on Amazon. I couldn't find like an Amazon listing for it being sold directly by them, but Barnes & Noble does have it in stock for $35, the retail price, the original retail price before the $38 bump. So you can pick it up in store if it's available near you, if you have that option. And yeah, so I mean, if you want this Vegeta, Amazon does not have him right now, Barnes & Noble does, okay? And also for Trunks, the Infinite Latent Superpower Trunks figure, GameStop has that for $35, okay? So good price, the original price, not like a scalper price, yeah. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the face sculpts of this Trunks figure. Well, I'd say this, the promotional images, the face sculpts look pretty good to me. But the actual finished product, like what you get in your hand, I don't really like how the face sculpts look. But Air Studio did recently release like some, I guess, 2 head sculpt sets. I think they had like different, like pearlescent and non-pearlescent or something. But essentially, Air Studio released some head sculpts recently that can work for this figure and make it look a lot more manga accurate and stuff like that. I don't think I've seen that set on Treasure Toys, so you'll have to look around for that somewhere else if you want to find it. But if I do see it on there, I'll be sure to let you all know about that and link it and so on, okay? But yeah, GameStop has this Trunks. Kind-Hearted Saiyan Goku, pre-ordered from Amazon.com. The pre-order is available. being released on July 30th, 2026, $38. And Saiyan Raised on Earth is actually on sale again. So it's back to $25. If you want this Goku, I'd recommend getting it as soon as possible, because I think it's very likely that it's going on sale a lot because they're getting low on stock or something, or they're trying to get rid of the last bit that they have, especially with the release of this one, you know, approaching closer, July 30th, okay? So if you want this Goku, I'd recommend getting it. $25 is a fantastic price for this. I personally like this Goku figure. It is, you know, a bit generic, but for, you know, $35, $25, I think it's like, it can pass, you know what I mean? It's not like a $50, $60 figure. And also, even if you do plan to get the Kind-Hearted Saiyan, keep in mind that these are two different looks for Goku. This is his Namek Saga look, whereas this one is like more like a Cell Saga, Buu Saga. So you could get both and still have two different display options anyways, or different uses for them. Barnes & Noble also does have the Saiyan Raised on Earth for $38 right here, okay? So yeah, I mean, Amazon's price is definitely lower. They have it on sale right now, so that is probably the better option at this current time. For Imperfect Cell, Amazon has it for $78.38, slightly less than Premium Bandai. Of course, they have it for $80. And as far as I know, the original retail price for this was $75, so both Amazon and Premium Bandai have an increased price. I do like the sculpt of the figure, but I wish it had some shading. That would really make it a fantastic figure in my opinion. Although the joints on mine, like, some of the joints feel a bit, I don't know, like kind of weak or soft. So I'm very, very cautious with how I handle it. I don't want to break anything, but I do like the look of the figure. And GameStop has the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I didn't see this on Amazon for the retail price, probably on there just for like scalper prices. But GameStop has it for the original price, $62, well, $61.99. So if you want that, this is probably like among the best prices you're going to find for this from, like, you know, American sellers and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't really like this figure very much personally. I think the price is way too high for the quality of this figure. But if you want an official Super Saiyan 3 Goku, this is the best option you have right now. If you want something better than this, I'd probably get the DF, what is it called? It's called like Dragon something. The new DF Super Saiyan 3 Goku they're releasing. That one has, of course, the more like 3.0 body style. I don't know if the face sculpts will look better than this, but it does include like a dragon statue thing, which is pretty cool. And if you want like a very anime looking Super Saiyan 3 Goku figure, like I would prefer, artistically speaking, I would recommend getting like a Martialist Forever body, preferably the Martialist Forever Return from Beyond body, and putting the ZD Studios, which is I believe a recast of the recustom Super Saiyan 3 Goku head sculpt set, on there. I think that is currently the best looking Super Saiyan 3 Goku figure in like SH Figuarts style that you can get right now. That kit bash will make the best looking one. That's what I have personally. For Blue Vegeta, he's in stock from Amazon, $34.49, so 9% off. And Barnes & Noble also has it for $38, so, you know, a comparable price. Amazon has a slight sale, but it's not a drastic difference. And of course, if you do the $50 or more over here, then you could get the free shipping on this as well. And if you're going to a store and they have it like in your location, you can pick it up there, okay? Fully Power Broly, being reissued on April 30th, 2026. I plan to get this myself. This is, you know, basically the only option you have if you want like a full power Broly from the Broly movie figure, you know. Red Goku here, $38. September 15th is the release date for that one. For Blue Goku, same price, October 14th instead of September. And Barnes & Noble has the original, well, not the original actually, there was a Resurrection F 1.0. So Barnes & Noble has the 2.0 Super Saiyan Blue Goku from the Broly movie. I do have this figure. I think I have like 2 of them. I might have 2 or 3 of them. I think I have 2 of them. One of them I have like some red hair on it. But yeah, I mean, for $38, you know, a passable figure. Pretty generic in the face sculpt department, but this is the only figure that I'm aware of, SH Figuarts style, that's based on, you know, how Goku looked in the Broly movie. Although, interestingly enough, Goku didn't go Super Saiyan Blue with this look in the Broly movie. This is more of the poster look, because in the movie when he went Super Saiyan Blue, he was all battle damage and stuff like that.
And then finally, GT Kid Goku being sold by Amazon, $48.06, free delivery. Yeah. And Barnes & Noble also has that for $54, which is the original retail price, I believe. I think Amazon here. Yeah, so $54 is the original price. 11% off here on Amazon. Barnes & Noble, $54. Ship it to you, or if you have that option, pick it up in store. And now let's move on to the third-party stuff. For those who don't know, Kang is currently on vacation. Kang Wholesale Store, was their name like Kang Dragon Ball Toy Wholesale Store? I think it was Kang Wholesale Store, something like that. But they have links, like I have links to them on dbfigs.com and stuff, but they're currently on vacation. According to this message here that they posted probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, possibly a while ago, a few weeks ago, they're supposed to return in March. So March is about, you know, a week or so away from us right now. So once they return, if they return in March with their Kang's Longzhou Wholesale Store 2, I will then migrate the links to their new store, as long as, of course, there are no tariffs and stuff like that, and I confirm that information, okay? All right, so on Reddit, someone posted this, basically talking about Treasure Toys, asking people to cancel their orders for the Ultra Ego Vegeta Recustom head sculpt sets. So, I mean, this kind of thing, I've seen this happen before. I think this happened to me with a different store in the past, where like I pre-ordered from them, then they told me they didn't have enough stock and I had to cancel and so on. So it is pretty frustrating when this happens, pretty annoying when it happens, but it does happen. It's not the only store I've ever seen it happen to. And, you know, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, I wish these stores and factories or whatever could just be on the same page. That's it. Just be on the same page. You know, if a store takes a certain amount of orders, fulfill the orders. That's all. That's all you got to do. Okay. But anyway, so apparently some people have had to cancel their orders and stuff like that. And someone else posted this as well, saying that, you know, basically the same situation with the Recustom Vegeta stuff, and saying they're getting fed up of Treasure Toys Wholesale Store, been waiting months for their Air Gohan head, and now they get this message about the Recustom Vegeta heads. And they said it's not like they got an amazing deal and they're still selling the exact set they've purchased. And I checked the store right now and I don't see it anymore. Okay, I don't see them selling the Recustom Ultra Ego Vegeta stuff anymore. So I'm guessing perhaps that, you know, they were on, I don't know, their store never said on vacation, but perhaps they were in some way, you know, participating in the Chinese New Year thing or whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but the whole, you know, break thing going on. And I guess after they got back, after, you know, a while, they took the listing down or whatever, because I don't see it here. Okay, so I don't see them selling the set any longer, taking orders for it anymore, nothing like that. Okay. Now, DF has revealed that they're working on a new Martialist Forever called Evolve in Combat. They say it will be released this year in March or April. Okay, now for me, this one is kind of just like a bizarre thing, because they made that post, I think last week or the week before, talking about they're going to have a new look across all products and new facial prints and stuff. And I was thinking that they could potentially upgrade their quality, their artistic quality, to look more like the anime, more like the manga and so on. But no, this is still very, very generic stuff. Very, very generic stuff. So yeah, that was quite disappointing to see. They really let me down with that. I was very disappointed in that. And also even the price thing, they mentioned they'll be reducing the price of the re-released products, right? But the new Martialist Forever here, I'm going to show you that in the AliExpress section, is up on Treasure Toys right now for pre-order for like $50, and it has less accessories than the original. And I bought the original for like $48 back in 2024 with more accessories, you know? So I really think that these companies like DF and I think ZT Studio said something similar about not increasing the price and stuff like that. These companies really need to stop talking about the price and saying like trying to like basically guaranteeing a certain price thing, or reduced price, or we're not increasing that price or whatever. Just stop talking about the price, because I would think that they don't really control
what stores like Treasure Toys or Kang or Living Luke's or whoever charges, right, on their AliExpress listings and stuff. So if you say stuff like, oh, reduced price, or we're not increasing the price, and then that store scalps the price or increases the price or whatever, like say that, let's say the figure's very popular and they increase the price, right? Treasure Toys does that. So if these stores do stuff like that, it makes you as a company look bad, because you're telling people, no, you're saying, oh, reduce price, we're not increasing the price or whatever. And then the store does do that. So it's like, people are like, well, are you just lying to us? Like, what is going on here? Why is the price not reduced as you said it would be, right? So I don't know. I don't really get why these companies talk about the price and stuff, because I would think they should be aware of like the scalping that goes on AliExpress or wherever. Like these companies, these stores, they don't keep the same price all the time. If a figure is very popular, most of the time they're going to be like, oh, increase the price. So just stop talking about the price. Just stop talking about it. Just stop. Just don't talk about it. Okay. Another image of it right here with the crossed arms. Then we have a look at it here next to the original Martialist Forever. And yeah, I mean, like, this is like so similar. Like, what? I don't get what improvements are they talking about. Like, I'm really confused here. Like, these look really similar. I can see the eyes are a bit smaller on the new one, I think. And of course the color's different, but what is really improved about this? Like, I mean, yeah, not much of a difference there. So very, very strange. I mean, if you think these look drastically different, I don't know what you're looking at, to be honest with you. I don't know what you're looking at, okay? So, they also really, revealed or talked about they're making a future Gohan. Well, they're making the future Gohan that they probably revealed years ago now, but I guess it's been updated to be on the Games Begin Goku style body, okay? And I forgot to mention too, with DF, like, oftentimes, unfortunately with DF, the renders look better than the actual product that they manufacture. Like even here, for example, if you look here, I mean, these still look very generic, but I think they look better than this. You know what I mean? So the renders that you see here look better than the actual product. So that is an unfortunate thing that happens often with DF and some other companies too. But yeah, so Future Gohan, it's called True Warrior. They say it has been redesigned using the 4.0 body, and it will launch at an amazingly affordable price, scheduled for release between Q2 and Q3 2026. And once again, stop talking about the price. Stop talking about the price, because if this thing goes up for pre-order, let's say it's, I don't know, $50 free shipping for pre-order, right? Let's say it sells very well, you see the little flame thing on it on AliExpress or whatever. I would expect Treasure Toys or whoever to be like, oh, it's popular, increase the price, that kind of stuff. So stop talking about the price unless you are like guaranteeing that these stores have to sell it at a specific price and they can't raise the price. Unless you're guaranteeing that, stop talking about the price. Just stop talking about it, because it's not going to stay the same, okay? The base form, there's a look at the base form right here. And I mean, the render, the face sculpt I think looks pretty good. The hair looks a bit strange. I think this is too big. I don't think Future Gohan's hair was that massive on the side there. But as usual, as I said before, this probably looks better than the final product, okay? The actual product probably will not look as good as these renders. Be prepared for that, okay? And then here's a look at the figure with everything it includes, I would assume. And they say that this is a special bonus thing, the like yelling face sculpt there. And it says, ask your retailer for details, okay? And yeah, I mean, I think the base form face sculpts look slightly better than the Super Saiyan ones. Yeah, but this one here, I do not like how that looks at all. This looks a bit better to me, which is kind of interesting because you would think they could just use the same kind of sculpt but change the color. I don't know. But at least they have stern looking forward, teeth grid, and yelling. At least there's that. But this probably looks better than what the actual product will look like. So if I don't like how that looks already in the face sculpt department, I'm probably going to like the actual product even less, okay? And they said here, let's take a look at all the contents, right? It says, ask your retailer how to get this special bonus Desperate Roar face, which is, as I said, this thing right here, okay? So it has a decent amount of accessories. It's not like super crazy, okay? I would expect this to be about $50 free shipping on AliExpress, especially when they said amazing price or whatever. But if it's very popular and sells very well, expect the price to go up. That is likely what will happen. So KW Studio, the main event 2 weeks in a row. They're setting records here. So Antares Reviews posted this image here of the KW Studio cell, okay? And you see the likeness there. Very, very, I mean, this is like, and you know, to be clear, I am not trying to be mean to KW Studio, but when I see people charging disgusting prices for things that are clearly not worth that value, I have to say something. I'm not just going to be like, hey guys, all these figures are great, pre-order everything, yay! Like, no, okay? If I think it's a scam, I'll tell you it's a scam. If I think it's a good deal, I'll tell you it's a good deal. I'm going to be honest with you here, okay? I'm not just going to try to get you to buy everything to get commission or whatever, okay? So this thing here, I honestly probably prefer the Dragon Star's face to this. I think I prefer the Dragon Star's face to how this looks. And for the price of this thing, now this thing originally, the normal versions were like $80, okay? But I checked just now, and Treasure Toys has now increased the price of the regular versions, not even the deluxe ones, the regular versions. The regular versions of this now cost $100, okay? So if you want to spend $100 for something that doesn't really look any better than Dragon Stars, and the plastic quality looks cheaper than Dragon Stars, that's your choice. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this for $100, okay? Not for $100. Absolutely not. Another image here, right? And I mean, why is this so baffling to me? I think the problem might be that Bandai has set such a low bar, right? Such a low bar for so many years, making these generic, basic looking figures and charging these high prices, which give the illusion that they're like luxury goods. Like people think, oh, SH Figuarts are fancy. They're like, oh, I collect SH Figuarts or whatever because the prices are high. But you're just paying high prices for basic figures, unfortunately, in most cases. That's what you're doing. You're paying exorbitant prices for figures that aren't really any better than like Jada Toys or something like that, you know? Like honestly, like Jada Toys Ryu, for example, I don't think the SH Figuarts Ryu looks really much better, like possibly a little bit, but not to justify the drastic price differences that SH Figuarts charges for these things. So you're paying high prices for figures that are clearly not worth that price. And because people have been acclimatized and trained to think that these are premium figures, these are high-end figures, these generic looking things, KW can make something that looks like this basic generic thing here, and people are like, oh my goodness, it's fire, dude. It's like, oh my goodness, dude, yeah. It's like, no, not for $100. If this was like $30, potentially I'd be like, okay, it can kind of pass for $30. But honestly, some of these face sculpts look so horrendous, to be completely honest with you, that I don't think I'd want this even for free, like even as a free sample or anything. I'd be like, I'm all set, dude, you know? Like, I don't really even want this in any way, you know? And someone mentioned that you could buy a head sculpt set, potentially if someone makes one or whatever. For $100 for this thing, I shouldn't have to go buy a head sculpt set. I shouldn't have to go buy a head sculpt set for $100 figure, dude. This should already look good. And that's why I personally prefer Tonsen over DF and many other companies, because even though Tonsen's prices are high, you get a lot of accessories and the sculpts are really good. You know, the sculpts are really, really solid. The only one that I don't really like that much is the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but that's just because he doesn't look buff enough to me, you know, but I think the face sculpts, you know, quality wise, they look good. I just wish he had more bulk to him. He had the fusion hands and so on. But that's why I prefer Tonsen in most cases, because the figures look good, you get a lot of accessories, okay? You can't be charging Tonsen prices. And the thing is, like KW, the regular versions, it's not like they're stacked full of accessories. Tonsen gives you so many accessories, so many cool accessories. But this is not stacked with accessories for a similar price. At least it was 80 before, you know? You can't be charging Tonsen prices and giving people this kind of mess. You know what I mean? Like, no, okay? And I'm not gonna say stuff like, oh, KW, they should shut down, what complete trash. I'm not gonna say that kind of stuff. I think what they should do is improve, okay? If you wanna be, you know, a sculptor or a toy manufacturer or whatever, you need to improve. You can't be charging $80 to $100 for this. No, okay? No. Moving on now, here's an image of the Cell with the Cell Jr. Pretty low quality image, so not much you can really tell from that, okay? And then here's a look at some of the stuff. This is the A version, right? So keep in mind, this is now $100 figure, okay? And these are the accessories you get for $100, okay? Are you really gonna work all those hours, laboring, sweating, whatever? You're earning your money, right? And you're gonna spend $100 to get this kind of looking thing, man? Like, come on, man, okay? I would advise practice patience, okay? Practice patience. Tonsen hopefully will make their Cell at some point, and it'll look better than this stuff for sure, and be better value for your money. And even if Bandai made a Cell for like $100, it'll probably also look better than what KW has done right here, okay? And I'm not surprised really at the sculpt quality of the KW Cell faces and stuff like that. I'm not really shocked or anything, because I've seen the Cell Juniors. They look pretty basic. The Gotenks did not look very good to me either. So anyone who expected KW to deliver some Tonsen looking figure or something like that, you really have to reevaluate their track record, okay? And look at what they've made in the past. This is not surprising. The only thing I'm kind of surprised about personally is the quality of the plastic. Like, the quality of the plastic looks so cheap to me. I thought they would give Cell better quality plastic, but even the Cell Juniors, when I got them, I made a post about it. The Cell Juniors feel pretty cheap to me. Like, I was like, these feel pretty cheap. They don't feel like good quality figures. You know what I mean? They should really be cheaper. Definitely be cheaper. They should definitely be cheaper. But yeah, so this is the A version. Here's the deluxe A version. And look at this. You know, seriously, look at this. Okay? $100 you got to pay for this. You got to pay $100 for this stuff. And for $100, they couldn't even paint the Cell Jr. there. Just a plain blue thing, right? Now, I don't know if they look plain blue when they popped out a Cell at first or whatever, but I don't know. But yeah, $100, and look at that. That is, honestly speaking, that is atrocious artistically speaking, okay? Artistically speaking, that is atrocious, okay? Then we have this right here. Looks nothing like Cell. Looks nothing like Cell at all. You can tell it looks like someone cosplaying a Cell or something, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I really think KW should improve. You can't be delivering this kind of stuff and asking for $80, $100. Like, no, it's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And look at this. $100? You think 100 of your dollars is worth this? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. The Cell shell husk thing looks pretty good, I would say. I think this is probably the best looking thing from the whole set. I think this looks pretty solid. It even has little shading and scratches and stuff. I think they did a pretty good job with this, you know. I'm not just going to say like everything they have made is complete garbage. I think this looks pretty solid. The Gohan face sculpt, that looks kind of decent too, I guess. You know, kind of decent as well. So here's the AliExpress page for this from Treasure Toys. And the regular versions are $102.83, okay? $102.83 to get this. Yeah? In fact, that's the deluxe. So you're not even getting that for $102. To get this here, you got to get the 130 deluxe one, right? Which is, let me see, where is it? Here we go.
$130.87 for the deluxe, okay, to get that atrocious looking thing you just saw. To get this right here, you got to pay $130.87, okay? You think that's worth $130.87? Seriously? You really think so? You can't possibly think that. Come on, man. Okay? So it's a complete and utter scam. I don't know why. I assume a lot of people, you know, bought this in the past and so on, and they were hyped about getting a sell and stuff like that. If you have pre-ordered this and your eyes are being open to how much of a scam this is, then I would personally recommend canceling your pre-order and waiting for something better. But if you're so desperate for a sell, you're like, I need a sell, I just need to get a sell, I need a sell, then the choice is yours. The choice is really yours. But if Tonsen does make their sell in the future, or Bandai makes a better sell in the future, I mean, I could see a lot of people, you know, selling their KW sell, and then even the people who like it right now might be like, oh, this is trash, dude. I can't look at that anymore, that kind of stuff. Like this whole, like, you know, for example, the SHF Broly, right? When the SHF Broly was the only Broly around, not many people talked trash about it, saying it looked horrible or anything. But then when they got, you know, the Kong Broly figures, they got the ZT Broly figures, they were like, oh, that SHF looks like garbage. So I would expect a very similar thing to happen with the KW cell, where even those who like it right now, once they see something better, they see Tonsen perhaps, they see Bandai or whatever, people are gonna trash it and be like, oh, this is garbage, blah, 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 blah. Okay, right now, of course, I think it's probably like, based on the online reception of this figure, from my experience, it's probably kind of like a 45-55 split, where like 55% of people either like it or are okay with it, and then 45% are like, this is trash, you know? So it's very divided in my experience. But yeah, I'm of course on the side of like, this is not worth your money. I would not recommend spending $100+ on this. Okay, I do not recommend that at all. I do not, once again, I do not recommend that. But ultimately, it's your money. Okay, if you want it, you can get it. But yeah, someone posted this on Reddit. I think they took the post down because I couldn't find it again, but I took a screenshot before they took it down, and they said, like, you know, basically expectation versus reality for the KW cell. And you can see just how much better this draft, I don't know how they made this, it could be AI or something, I don't know, but you can see how much better that looks than what KW delivered. I mean, just the quality, like it just looks so cheap, you know? It looks so cheap. It's like, dude, if you're asking people for $80 to $100, you can't at least give them good quality plastic, man? Like, seriously, like that kind of stuff disgusts me, man. You want people to pay $80 to $100 for this, and you can't even give them good quality plastic? You can't even give them good quality plastic, man? You know, like DF's plastic quality is pretty good. Tonsen's plastic quality is pretty good. Even their Kid Buu, their first figure, I think that was, the plastic quality looks way better than KW right here. So why can't KW give some decent quality plastic? You know, even if the sculpt isn't great in the face sculpt department, at least the plastic quality should be good for $80 to $100, you know? And I like the sculpt of the body. I think the shape of the body looks pretty good and stuff like that. If it had really good head sculpts and good quality plastic, I'd be like, hey, that's a pretty solid cell figure. I don't know if it's like 80 to 100, but it'll be a pretty solid figure, artistically speaking, and quality wise. Like if it looked like this, if the KW cell actually looked like this, then I'd probably be like, man, that's a pretty dang good cell figure, you know? Should have some shading, of course, but, you know, artistically, not bad. I don't think the face sculpt is perfect there. Could be improved, like the eyes are a bit big still, but looks way better than what KW has released here, okay? And I want to show this. So this is a screenshot I took from the anime, and you see how Cell looks right there, right? And then compare that to KW. Doesn't look like Cell, okay? It doesn't look like Cell. Not a good representation of Cell at all. It is not a good representation of Cell. If Tonsen makes a Cell, I hope it looks something like this, okay? That's what I'm hoping for from Tonsen, honestly. And all you have to do is sit down and actually take the time to make your sculpt look like the source material. That's all you have to do. That's it. Look at Red Leaf Studios, right? When I would assume they took the time to revisit their Janemba and sit down to sculpt the face to look like the actual Janemba, look how much better the figure looked. That's all you have to do. Just use a reference, right? Look at the art and imitate the art with your sculpt, dude. That's it, okay? That's all you have to do, man. And like, I feel like a lot of people, even as far as animation goes, when you use references for animation, it really helps your animation look better because you have more accurate movements, you know, the characters look more realistic in how they pose and stuff like that. Like, you have better poses and so on because you're referencing something to give you, you know, something to base it on, okay? That's why, like, when like people are drawing, for example, they use a reference. Look at a human walking or whatever and try to draw a human walking, that kind of stuff. Like, if you use references for stuff, it really helps improve your art and so on, okay? Just use references. All you have to do, look at Cell here and sculpt that. And then people will say stuff like, oh, but it's 3D, it's so tough to get in 3D. But Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's in 3D. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is 3D. Those are 3D models, and they look like the characters. So why can't these figure sculptors make models that look like the characters? Okay, stop making this generic nonsense for $80. Stop making that for $100 and actually take the time to reference the source material, okay? This is not, there's nothing premium about this. This is not premium, okay? This is supposed to be a so-called premium hobby, and you're selling this for $80 to $100? Seriously? It looks like a children's toy. It looks like a children's toy. Do better. If you want $80 from people, you want $100 from people, do better. And for $80 to $100, you can't give better quality plastic than this? No, okay? No. Reference the source material and base your sculpt on that. It's that simple. It's really that simple. The KW cell looks more like this. It looks more like this is what they were referencing. This kind of stuff. And this is what I mean when I say the poorly drawn frames of the anime. This is the kind of like poorly drawn anime stuff that I'm like, you know, SH Figuarts generally look more similar to this stuff. But I don't want that. Do you want that? You want that as a figure? Would you not rather have this as your cell? Okay, this well-drawn artistic frame here that looks more similar to Toriyama's art and so on. This is what SH Figuarts should look like. This is what premium figures should look like. This is what high-end collectible figures should look like. They should look like the art from the source material, okay? Not this kind of stuff. Leave that to Dragon Stars. You want a cell that looks like this? Let that be a Dragon Stars for the kids to play and bite up and whatever, okay? Let the kids destroy that figure. Okay, whatever. Cool, no one cares. $20, whatever. But you want $80 to $100? Deliver on that. Give people their money's worth, okay? Stop scamming people and giving them this basic nonsense for $80 to $100. No, okay? Here are some other images of this KW cell posed with the Goku. And look at even, yeah, it's a low quality image, but you've already seen how it looks. $80 to $100. And this is the kind of face sculpt you have here. No effort put into that thing. At least it doesn't look so to me. It doesn't look like you took the time to sit down and really make it look like Cell. No, you're like, hey, let's make a face sculpt and yeah, call it a day. That's it. Okay? This right here as well. No. No, no, no. Now the scaling I think is pretty good. I think the scale is pretty good. The height of him looks pretty solid. He's not as big as the Figuarts, I don't think. So yeah, I think the scale is pretty solid. I like that. As far as things that I like about this cell, I like the sculpt of the body. I like the height of the figure. And I like the little cell shell husk thing, right? But the plastic quality, L. The face sculpts, L. The price point, L. Okay? There's 3 L's right there. Triple L. This is the Gohan yelling thing. I think this looks fairly decent, considering, I mean, the SHF doesn't look that great to begin with, so it looks similar to that. So it matches the SHF, I think, pretty well. And then here we go with this. This is the deluxe stuff. $100+ okay? $100+ $130 now.
to get this. Come on, man. This right here does not look like Cell. Okay. Looks like someone cosplaying a Cell. It honestly looks like a child drew Cell and they just made a face sculpt of it. That's how really low effort this looks to me. Okay. Just being honest here. Yeah, low quality image again. We've got this. All right. And the color, I think the color of the anime one should be a bit more saturated. And then look at this right here. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Now, how much better would their Cell look if they actually took the time to make it look like the source material, okay? Look at this, for example. Looks pretty solid. I don't think this is perfect, but it's way better, of course. And then look at this right here, right? That looks like Cell, okay? What if KW actually took the time, right, to make their figure look like this, okay? That's what Cell looks like. That's what a so-called high-end, so-called premium figure should be looking like. But instead, you're charging $80 to $130 or whatever for this. No. Okay? No. No, sir. No, sir. Take the time, look at the source material, and just imitate that. That's it. That's it. Okay? Another image here of the Cell with Goku. Here's the Cell by himself. Absolutely not. No, sir. No, no. And then this is just, man. Some of these face sculpts are so atrocious that Antares Reviews actually reposted some of these images, I think, like zoomed in, and said, honestly, some of Cell's faces look really bad. So look at this, and keep in mind, this is gonna cost you $100. You want $100? The purple is not even aligned properly right there. You want $100 for this thing? Are you kidding me? Right? How could you look at Tonsen stuff? How could you look at Tonsen stuff and then look at your stuff, this stuff here, and be like, yeah, this is worth $80 to $130 or whatever. This is worth $80 to $100. Seriously? Seriously, this is probably a case where it's like, you know, when you sing in the shower and you think you sound good or whatever, and people are like, dude, you do not sound good. This might be a case like that. KW Studio might actually think this looks good. And I mean, I can't really necessarily blame them in a sense if there are a lot of people saying, dude, this is fire, I need this Cell, you know, that kind of stuff, because they'll be like, oh, hey, people love it, whatever. But there are a lot of people saying this is a letdown, a major letdown. I'm not really let down, as I've said before, because I didn't expect very much from them. But I'm disappointed to see that this is considered premium by some people, and this is considered high end and considered to be worth $80 to $100. Like, you've got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Then look at this. This is the deluxe stuff, right? $130 you got to pay for this now from Treasure Toys. $130 for this. You've got to be absolutely joking. And look at this. Look at this. $130. 130. No. Okay? No. This right here doesn't look as horrible, of course, but I mean, the likeness is still not great. Not a great likeness to Cell at all. Not at all, at all, at all. Look at this right here. Look at that smile. No. Compare that to this, or the anime, right? Where is it? Let's see. No. Okay. No, sir. Not for $80. If this was like $30, then possibly I'd be like, okay. But for $80, $100, $130, no way. Is this as well? We got this right here. Look at that. And you want $80 to $130 for this? No, sir. This. this. And then here are some images of it next to Gohan and Goku. And in some images it doesn't look as horrible, but still you can tell it looks very, very cheap though. And the face sculpt is just like, it looks nothing like Cell. It does not look like Cell. I mean, if you want to say it looks like this Cell, okay, I could possibly see something like that. But not Cell. True Cell, okay? The real Cell. The real Cell we all know, okay? Let's see, where was that? Right here. Then we got this right here. I think the little husk thing, they did a very good job with that. I think that was very well done. I'd say that. I say they did a good job with this. But the plastic quality, like, look at that there, okay? No, no, no. And then this right here, the deluxe stuff again. No, sir, not $130 for that. This, no. Although that doesn't look as horrible as the other stuff. You know, the lighting helps it a bit, I guess. And then there's this video here. Antress Reviews posted this video, like a articulation thing, I think it is. So let's see here. Not gonna play the music. It's probably some kind of copyrighted music or something. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, the likeness is just very poor likeness. For $80 to $100, and it's not stacked with accessories, you should be delivering in the face sculpt department, okay? That's why I said I usually like Tonsen stuff quite a bit. Because they deliver artistically. Yeah, so no, sir. $100? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, it has an ab crunch, decent articulation for what I can tell. Pretty good going on right there. So there are some good things about this Cell figure. You know, there are some good things. But I think the bad dramatically outweighs the good. Got that right there. Let's see this. Oh, I wanted to pause. I hate that in Instagram you can't scroll back the video or whatever. At least I can't right here. Yeah, sir. $100. $130 actually for this. This is $130 now, the damage stuff. No, sir. So that's it. Yeah, so KW, nah. You need to either improve drastically or drastically drop the price. It's really that simple. Really that simple. I'm not going to tell you to just buy every figure, okay? This I do not recommend getting at all. Don't recommend it. Practice patience. Hopefully Tonsen will make their Cell, or even Bandai. I'd even prefer Bandai over this, and I don't even like Bandai. But I might even prefer a Bandai Cell over this because it'll probably look better than this. And at least it'll have better plastic quality. Well, then again, look at Shallot. So if they don't do Cell like they did Shallot, they give him decent quality plastic or whatever, then I would probably prefer even a Bandai Cell over this. Okay, but for $100, $130, no sir. And the last thing before we get to the AliExpress part, I wanted to mention, when I first saw this, I thought this was just a head sculpt set or whatever, but it might actually be a full figure. And if it is a full figure, then I really do like the body. I think the body looks jacked. It looks very similar to GT, so I like that. If they can just improve the face sculpts a bit, right, make it look a bit more like GT, then I really like the look of this, honestly. And I mean, I might even, depending on the progress of this, I might even consider getting this instead of getting DF, because as I said before, with Tonsen, I like Tonsen's plastic quality, their artistic quality, but their Gogeta's just not buff enough, the Super Saiyan 4 one, you know? And then with DF, I like their accessories. I like DF's accessories, but the head sculpts and stuff are probably not going to look that great to me. So if this can bring the best of both worlds together, have that buff jack body, and have good head sculpts, and hopefully good accessories, then I might be getting the XH Lion Gogeta instead of Tonsen or DF. So definitely looking forward to seeing how this progresses personally. Now with that being said, let's move on to AliExpress. Alright, so first we have the Air OQ Ultra Ego Vegeta sets. These are up for pre-order right now. $41.20. You can get $4 off to bring it to 20. Well, $4 off, bringing it down to, what is that? 11 minus 4, 7, so like 37 or something like that. Not a horrendous price, but
we already know that head sculpts and stuff for SH Figuarts style figures are overpriced anyways, right? But I do think that these look pretty good, except the yelling one I think is not very strong, okay? And I mean, the price you see might differ depending on your region or your location and stuff like that. And you can find all of these, of course, on dbfigs.com and in the description. The Black Hole Toys Super Saiyan 5 Goku figure is now in stock. I've seen reviews from the US and stuff like that as well for this. We have that right there. So they have 2 listings for the same product. Same price on both of them though. The DF Trunks. Now this is what I was talking about earlier. If you wanted if you want a Trunks with a jacket, I would personally rather get this and a cloth jacket than get the SHF version. I think it'd be better value for your money and stuff like that, you know? And of course the SHF one, to be fair, DF doesn't include that many face sculpts with this release, but you do get these 2 jacket arm pieces, the burning attack arms and stuff. So you get the hands in the pockets too. So I think getting this in a cloth jacket would be better value for your money than getting the SHF version. And for Martialist Forever Return from Beyond, now Treasure Toys has absolutely skyrocketed the price on this basically, but you can still get $9 off. To bring that down, what is 13 minus 9? That's going to be what, 4? So 73.64, something like that. Yeah, $64 basically. Quite a high price, but I do think that if you combine this body right here with what I'm going to show you, these ZD Toys Super Saiyan 3 Goku head sculpt over here, right? I think that is going to be the best looking Super Saiyan 3 Goku figure available right now that you can make, you know, SHF style. And they do plan, as far as I know, ZD Studio, I mean, or ZD Toys, whatever the name is, they do plan to make some like DLC faceplates with like yelling and stuff like that. So if they do make that, I'm pretty interested in that myself, to get a more complete Super Saiyan 3 Goku that looks much more, you know, anime-like. And then they have also on here, Treasure Toys, the DF Father and Son, which is, I think, pretty good value for your money. You get the Goku, you get 2 Gohans, you get the head sculpts, the power pole, the Nimbus, the stand. So I think this is actually a very solid release quality-wise, well, as far as, you know, price-wise. Now, regarding the QC, I've seen probably about 2 people, I think, have issues with the hand pegs breaking on the Goku figure. So not sure what the situation is with that one. It might depend on your copy. I don't have this yet, but I might get it in the future. And then this is the new Martialist Forever. As I mentioned before, it's up for like $50, $50.84. So as far as the whole reduced price thing, don't know what DF was talking about. If you take $7 off, bring you down to like what, $43.84. So I think, you know, $43.84 for this, I think is a good price if you get the $7 off. But yeah, it's still $50 without the discount going on. And then the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta from DF, this is up for pre-order as well, $71.22. But you do get a bunch of stuff here: the Big Bang Kamehameha, the crossed arms, the confetti effect, fusion hands for Goku and Vegeta, a bunch of hands for Gogeta and stuff like that. So I think the value is, you know, pretty much there, especially if you get the $9 off. Bring that down to what, 11 minus 9 is 2, 62.22. Okay, I think that's a pretty good value right there. The face sculpts, I don't expect these to look that great personally, based on DF's track record and the kind of stuff they usually make. And unfortunately, even though they recently talked about, you know, improved facial prints and stuff, the new Martialist Forever doesn't look that much better, if at all, than the previous Martialist Forever. So hopefully, you know, XH Lion can deliver or something for a decent price and not trying to just scalp your wallet like KW Studio. We'll have to see potentially. And then the Vegeta from DF is also here, $73.18. This one has a massive amount of accessories right there, so the value is definitely there for this one, I believe. Like, artistically speaking, I don't think it'll look the best in the face sculpt department, of course, because it's DF. But as far as the value for your money and all the accessories you're getting, I think it's definitely there. You can get $9 off as well on that one, according to what I see there. And then the Super Saiyan 3. This is the one that is, I think this is the most, no, the Martialist Forever is the most recent one. But I think before that, this was their most recent thing that they announced, not counting the future Gohan. Yeah, so I mean, this has the dragon statue thing, which I think adds a lot of value to this if you want like the dragon fist to you know, display Goku doing that.
I'm not very interested in this personally because I expect very generic face sculpts, and based on how the new Martialist Forever looks, I don't think they're going to deliver what I was hoping they'd deliver artistically. So there's that. But if you want it, you can get it right now. Well, you can pre-order it right now at Treasure Toys. And the MP model, I'm showing this because I think as far as Vegito goes, this might end up being the best Vegito figure. It might. The renders right here aren't super incredible though, because I'm looking at them up close. The body looks really solid though, so I don't know. I hope for this price tag, and I mean, they do have a good amount of accessories, I guess, you know, but I do hope, like, I hope they can deliver artistically, you know, like, I'm tired of just generic figures after generic figure after generic figure. Like, I want to see more Tonsen-like studios. I want to see more, like, you know, Air Studio Recustom, although to be fair with Air, no, that kind of rhymed, to be fair with Air. But to be fair with Air, it seems that they don't put that much effort, well, as much effort as they usually put into their head sculpts, into their full figures, because the future Gohan in the face sculpt department does not look as good as they usually make. So unfortunately, they're not like Tonsen, where, like, you can tell that Tonsen, even though Tonsen started out making just head sculpts, I think, like, they transferred that level of artistic quality to their full figures, right? Where, like, the Tonsen Gogeta, for example, the blue Gogeta, it looks fantastic in the face sculpt department, and it's not like because they're making a body as well, they decided to be like, okay, let's make the face sculpts not look as good because we're making a body as well. No, Tonsen is like, we're gonna make an amazing set of face sculpts with an amazing body, right? And that's what I was hoping Air would do, but they didn't deliver in that department, in my opinion. The future Gohan really should look better than it does. It looks, I mean, it looks good, but not as good as we've seen Air deliver before. They also have here, Treasure Toys has the recently released Kong Studio Gokus, the 8-foot tall Goku figures. And I mean, unfortunately, they're scalping the UI one. Okay, so as I've said in that post that I made, unfortunately today, even so-called retailers and stuff are scalpers as well. So Treasure Toys is scalping here, scalping the UI Goku 9824, and the others are 7326. If you want any of these, I think the UI one is the best looking one, which is probably why they're scalping it. And then for Gogeta, Tonsen, their Gogeta is up for pre-order as well. This one right here, 8147. I think they have 2 listings for this, okay? And yeah, I mean, the face sculpts, I like the face sculpts and stuff. Like, I think it looks pretty cool. The yelling isn't like fantastic. I think the yelling should probably be a bit more expressive. And this is what I was talking about probably last week, I think, where like these studios and stuff, they don't really like, I guess they want to reuse the same face shape for all the expressions. So instead of making his jaw longer to make it more animated, like how the 24,000 power level Vegeta yelling expression is, they've got him here with like the short jaw. So his face looks a bit squished, slightly squished, not super squished, but slightly squished. If they'd made his jaw a bit longer and extended a bit, I think that'll help that a lot. But it still looks pretty good. I just don't think it's buff enough. Like the XH Lion looks jacked, you know? So if XH Lion can deliver in the face sculpt department and the body department, then I'd probably want to go with that, especially if the accessories are good too. But we don't know what the accessories are looking like for that. All we've seen is that render as far as I know. And then Vital Forge here, they're selling these Goku Black figures. And keep in mind, I'm not showing you everything that Treasure Toys has or everything on dbfigs.com. There are other figures and accessories on there. I'm just highlighting a few things for you here. So yeah, they've got these Goku Black / Gohan Black things going on here. You can either buy a body with accessories, okay, or you can buy a body with accessories and some head sculpts, okay. And I did the math on the bodies. The price is not like horrendous considering the amount of accessories you get and stuff like that. So there's that, okay. And then finally we have WoW Super Action Studio. They hopefully will be releasing their Vegeta soon, which I'm very much looking forward to. I really do want that Vegeta. It might be my personal definitive Saiyan Saga Vegeta if they have the baggy pants and they actually make it look like the manga. And I wanted to show this too because I want to highlight that apart from Tonsen, another studio that I think, at least based on what they've made so far, delivers on the artistic quality
is oh my goodness, Wild Reaction Studio, because this Goku, it's not 100% perfect. Like this, for example, I think could use a little work, but for the most part, like this stuff really looks like the manga. Like it actually has the manga art style. And that's what I think these figures should be, right? When I buy these figures, I should feel like you looked at a manga panel or an anime frame and pulled that off of my screen or out of the book or whatever, and I have a figure that looks like Toriyama's art, that looks like the actual show I watched, and so on. That's what I want to see. So I'm grateful to see studios like Tonsen and Wild Reaction Studio who actually take the time to make their figures look like the source material, right? That is the kind of figures that I personally like the most and would like to see more studios doing stuff like that. But yeah, guys, if you want to stay updated on Dragon Ball figures and stuff like that, whether it's official or third party, be sure to subscribe and check out dbfigs.com if you want to have like all this stuff organized very neatly. Third party figures, official figures, the news videos as well are all there. And be sure to share it with other collectors as well, because it's a very convenient resource. It really helps, you know, reduce the hassle of running everywhere to find everything. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching and bye for now.